I'm very privileged, I think, to be part of this program tonight, and I commend the students who organized it. It is, as Lisa suggested, a crucial learning moment for all of us that are part of this academic community. Because I think if one addresses the wider implications of this case and of academic freedom, one quickly realizes that the freedom that we've been discussing is a precious dimension of any desirable learning community. But it is also an extremely fragile aspect of that experience. And it needs to be protected with all of our energies if we care for the kind of quality of education and learning that a great university should aspire to achieve. There is no question that this case is part of a larger concern with academic freedom that has emerged in recent years and is focused upon a controversial subject matter. And part of the fragility of academic freedom is that when a controversial subject matter emerges and needs full inquiry, it agitates contentious elements within the wider society. And it is up to the university to protect the sanctuary of learning that a university should be against that kind of agitation which manipulates forces within the university in destructive ways that harm individuals and create an intimidating atmosphere. And from what we've heard, particularly from Jeff, that's exactly what has happened here. That there has been a failure on the part of the institution to protect and insulate a faculty member from irresponsible initiated charges, and therefore this case has spiraled out of control and become not only a nationally known incident, but internationally known. And really our own future, in some sense, rests on how this case is handled and the degree to which not only is Bill Robinson exonerated, which should be a no-brainer in every serious sense, but also that the institution comes to understand its responsibilities in, first of all, following its own procedures. That's the least you can expect, that kind of procedural due process. But also in reminding the external pressure, in reacting to external pressures in such a way as to demonstrate its own commitment to the integrity and the value of a university that is able, without intimidation, to discuss the most controversial public issues of the day. Because after all, what we want from education is not to generate well-trained but passive subjects. We want active, engaged citizens in our society. We need citizens, not subjects. And that's the essence of what a democracy should mean. That we not only tolerate the expression of conscience and truthfulness, but that we celebrate it as a virtue, as something that allows those who are privileged to be students in such a learning community to confront the issues of the day and to understand that they too have a responsibility to engage those issues in such a way that democracy retains its vitality. And of course, at the present time, the issue that most challenges and tests the commitment to academic freedom is the Israel-Palestine conflict. And we have to face a strange reality that here we are living in a liberal constitutional democracy, but it's also probably the country that makes it most difficult to achieve a balanced understanding of this very sensitive and controversial issue. Nowhere else in the world is criticism of Israel for its behavior, particularly in relation to these events that gave rise to this incident, the recent Gaza attacks. Nowhere else would that even be controversial, much less the basis for this kind of incident. So we should put this in this historical context. There have been other issues earlier. McCarthyism arose because it was considered it was congressionally driven rather than from organized groups in civil society to stifle criticism of the way in which the Cold War was being conducted. And that too punished individuals of conscience who tried to find a truthful understanding of a very complex reality. And I think that this present situation that we are now confronting is one where we are very much aware of the fragility of academic freedom as it's being tested in this kind of substantive context. And it's not the only test. There have been professors at other universities that have endured these kinds of attacks, sometimes with very unfortunate results. Norman Finkelstein, for instance, was denied tenure despite an extraordinary record of scholarship and the positive vote of his relevant department through essentially external pressure brought on the president of DePaul University. There also have been a series of incidents at Columbia University. There, the outcome, particularly in relation to Joseph Massad, has been positive, but one doesn't realize that a person is harmed by the mere allegation and accusation. And that's part of the reason that the procedure is so important. Because if you don't prevent this kind of incident from becoming a public issue when it shouldn't be, when there isn't the basis for raising it in that way, you already have inflicted a very undeserved penalty to a faculty member who was trying to discharge his role in a responsible and effective way. And so here we have to face the fact that even if there's a full exoneration of Professor Robinson, he will still be hurt in the sense that elsewhere he will be identified with this issue, and the